So in our final analysis, we conclude that the classroom management model of assertive discipline can in fact work. It provides structure and reinforcement that students both need and, as we've seen from Russ's experience, that they desire as well. Allowing for an air of predictability just makes a student even more comfortable when they walk into a classroom. They know how things are going to run. They know how the rules are or are not going to be enforced. This actually brings to mind an experience that I had with a student earlier this year. She came to me after class and said, "You know, Mr. Ray, I'm concerned because the way you handled this situation that happened in class today is not the same way that you handled it a couple of classes ago when you were in a much better mood." And that's actually something that has stuck with me as I've continued to teach over the year. You know, how is my mood affecting how I'm enforcing rules? How is it not affecting how I'm enforcing rules? What can I do to make sure that no matter how I'm feeling at the time, that my procedures, that my expectations are always enforced in the same way? So that, again, is something that's really stuck with me and I hope is helping my teaching even now. What assertive discipline does is it pairs consequences, both positive and negative, with student behavior. It ties them together. And this is something that we as a society value. We want to be rewarded in some way for being able to follow the rules, for doing the right things, with something as simple as having the privilege to drive on our roads because we obey the traffic laws. On the flip side of that, we as society like to see that those who are not following the rules are penalized in some fashion, whether that be a loss of driving privileges or something more drastic as being sent to prison for breaking our laws. Assertive discipline is a system that's carried out in a positive and respectful way towards students. This is also important to them, just as it's important to us. If students feel respected, then they'll not only want to follow our expectations more, but it will allow us to develop that all-important relationship with students. Healthy ties with students are important because if we're ever going to teach them anything in terms of content, then we've got to have some sort of connection with them. For maximum effectiveness, we believe that assertive discipline should be combined with other classroom management techniques. Student buy-in is one part of that. It's one thing to give students that short list of rules that assertive discipline directs. It's another thing, especially for the maturing students, for them to actually have a hand in what those rules are going to be, even if they're done within preset guidelines. If students have input into what the rules are going to be, then as a group, they're going to be more motivated to want to follow those because they helped craft them. Also, this always touted idea of consistency, consistency, consistency. Again, Russ experiences shows that students want predictability and they value that. What consistency does for students is that it helps them to know how situations are going to be handled even when the environmental factors are somehow varied. Be that with special events such as a highly involved classroom activity or classroom celebrations or parties or things like that. Or again, that idea of teacher mood. Is how you're feeling right now going to have an impact on how you enforce your classroom expectations. In any other environmental factors, we feel that assertive discipline kind of takes care of in this idea of consistency. So again, paired with these other classroom management techniques, we feel that assertive discipline can be effective in the classroom.